Hi guys, we're going to talk about the TI-84 plus CE Texas Instruments calculator and just talk about the important functions you need to know. So first off, the on button is right there, and let's say you were stuck on the screen and you would like to reset your calculator so that it's brand new. So once you do that, you press on the plus sign where it says MEM, so it's second plus for MEM, and you can reset your calculator by pressing 7 or scrolling down to number 7 and pressing enter. You need to press on all RAM and then 2 for reset, and then now we have a resetted calculator. So now every function should be on default. So let's talk about the main screen on operations. So just remember that the negative and the minus symbol are two different symbols that you need to make sure that you are putting in the proper symbol. So for instance, let's say you have -2 minus 3. That gives you -5. However, let's say you accidentally put the negative symbol instead of the minus symbol for that 3. That would be -2 times -3 for your calculator to understand, and that gives you a totally different answer. So just make sure that you are not mixing up these two symbols. When you have a fraction, remember that the division symbol represents that fraction line. So let's say we have 2/3 plus 1/2. So once you get your answer, it will always give it to you in decimal form. Let's say your answer choices were in fractions. So we need to go and convert that 1.16 repeating to a fraction by pressing on math right away. And if you look at your options, you have 1 for frac. That would mean fraction. Then it says answer is going to be turned into a fraction. And now we have an improper fraction of 7/6. Now let's talk about when we have graphs. So let's say I wanted to graph a linear equation that said fx plus 2. You always need to remember that the x is going to be this right here. It says x, and that would represent the x value in your graph. And then let's say we wanted to see the graph. Then you can press on graph and you can see a nice little linear line. Let's say you wanted to look at a table. So you go to second, table. Now you can look at all of the different numbers that represents your linear function. This is also going to be for exponential functions, quadratic functions. Just know that some graphs are going to be off the coordinate plane, where you would have to look at the window and set up your minimum and your maximum values for your x and your y axis. All right, and then let's go back to the main screen. You need to press on second, and then you see the word quit on top, and then you're back to the main screen. So now just remember some of the other functions that you need to know are squaring. So 5 squared, you can use the x2 button, or you can use the caret button, which is right above the division symbol, and then you can press 2 after that. This is going to work well if you have it to any other exponents. So for instance, let's say 5 to the -6 power. Now we have a nice little number. It looks like the 6.4 -5 were not able to fit on the screen because it was too long. So this just means 6.4 times 10 to the -5th power. So always know this 6.4 would be the first number of your scientific notation. That -5 would be on the exponent of your 10. And that would give you the same answer. Let's say you wanted to square root. So let's say I want to take the square root of 25. So you should not be putting in the number first for square rooting because we're trying to put it inside the square root. So press second and x squared for the square root symbol. Then you should be putting in your 25 to get 5. Let's say we were doing 25 or square root of 25 plus 1. If you press 1 right away, notice that it's still inside the root, which is going to give you the square root of 26. If it was square rooting 25 first and then trying to add a 1 after that, you would have to press the 25 and then the cursor to the right to come out of the root symbol and then adding in the 1. And now it would give you a nice little number of a 6. Always remember to use parentheses for some of your operations, especially if you are taking the axis of symmetry of something. When it says negative b all over 2 times a, you always have to multiply the 2 by the a in parentheses because that is what the formula is telling you. So if you do not put the parentheses, your calculator is going to divide the 2 first and then multiply by 4. And you do not want to get a different and wrong answer. All right, so I think that covers most of the calculator functions that we do need to know. So hopefully this video helped. Let your teacher know if you have further questions on this.